Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and today's show is presented by PANDA Subs. If people are looking to stay in better shape, get their hands on some greens or some brand new products, I'll tell you about them here in a little bit. Go to pandasubs.com, use code SUPERBOWL for 35% off. Now, the reason why we're breaking all this stuff down on Super Bowl Sunday is because we kind of have some breaking news, not breaking news quite yet. The Las Vegas Raiders, according to Ian Rapoport, are prepared to commit to their quarterback with a contract extension. Now, he does have 1 year left on his current deal, and he is set to make $19.9 million in 2022. DC is one of my favorite players. He is one of the most respected guys, I think, in the National Football League for everything that he has had to put up with this Raiders organization. I've made the argument before. I don't think there's anybody that's had to deal with more BS than Derek Carr. Now, I'll break down some of these contract figures, and I'll give you guys my opinion. But what is your one-word reaction to hearing the report from NFL Network's Ian Rapoport that the Las Vegas Raiders are likely going to extend Derek Carr? I want you to go down, give me your one-word reaction. My one-word reaction is expected. I know Josh McDaniels kind of tiptoed around it. One of the biggest reasons why McDaniels decided to come to the Raiders was, in fact, for DC. Now, past season, I get it. He set a career high with 4,804 passing yards. He did struggle turning over the football. He did have 23 touchdowns. Now, obviously, that's a lot to blame with not having a solid offensive line. His main option in Darren Waller got banged up. Henry Ruggs, you know, the whole situation that happened there. Plus, with all the coaching changes that he had, offensive coordinator coaches changes he's had his entire career, Derek Carr has dealt with a lot of stuff, and hopefully he doesn't have to deal with too much BS anymore. Now, to make sure you guys never miss anything going on around the silver and black, I promised y'all, keeping you up to date in news, rumors, everything going on with the Raiders, we got you covered. And I don't care if it's the second quarter of the Super Bowl, if it's the fourth quarter, if it happens at 11 o'clock tonight that the Raiders extend DC, I'm going live here on the Raiders Report. I don't care if it's from my home. I don't care if it's from the shower. I am going to be going live on the Raiders Report, breaking everything down. So again, hit that sub button, turn on those notifications because I don't want you to miss a thing. Now, here's what Ian Rapoport had to say literally just a few minutes ago. For years, it appeared Derek Carr's future with the Raiders was in doubt. Whenever former coach Jon Gruden had the opportunity to fully support him, he often let it open. With new coach Josh McDaniels and general manager Dave Ziegler officially on board, Carr is finally set to receive the support that he's eluded him. Sources say that the Raiders are moving forward with Carr at quarterback and prepared to discuss a contract extension that would keep him in Las Vegas for the foreseeable future. Carr has 1 year left on his contract, making nearly $20 million. For weeks, as the Raiders search for a coach, Carr mulled his future with both sides left to make a mutual decision about what would come next. Sources say Carr's top choice for a new head coach was actually the one the team hired. In the past, McDaniels and Ziegler's affection for the three-time Pro Bowler led them to consider trading for him. Carr has earned a near top-of-the-market contract extension, and a strong short-term deal may be in his future. He would be a top target for quarterback-needy teams this offseason, but barring a breakdown in the current plans, those teams need to look another direction. So my few takeaways from Rapoport, the main thing is he's having a strong source, and I'm going to believe Rap Sheet because a lot of these guys like Schefter and Rap, they've been on top of it where you're seeing a lot of the other Raiders beat writers, they missed badly on the whole head coaching search. So the fact that it's coming from Rapoport, that I definitely agree with and that I definitely believe with. But if you look at what he said for the foreseeable future and then a big short-term deal. My mind goes to a 3-year contract, and I think that's the type of deal that you're going to see here from Derek Carr. He's not going to get a 4 or 5 year extension. I think he's going to get 2 years slapped onto his deal, and then that's going to get him at 3 years. Now, a few weeks ago, I put on a show, if I had to absolutely extend Derek Carr, this was the deal that I'd give him. 3 years, 79.9, where he'd make an average of 26.6, and I'd give him a guaranteed $60 million. The reason why that those numbers are there, it's the 19.9 plus $30 million on top of that of extension. So basically, I was giving him a 2-year, $60 million extension with that fully guaranteed. Now, I'll tell you how much I think he's going to end up getting, because personally, I believe it's going to be a little bit, not even a little bit, it's going to be higher than that. So how much would you pay Derek Carr per year? Right now, he's making $19.9. If you're wondering, well, Mitch, I don't know how much they're going to give him. When I think of per year, I'm going to base it on, if it's a 3-year deal, how much he's going to make on average, and it's going to be expensive. But when you compare some of these other quarterbacks in terms of highest paid QBs per year, Mahomes at $45 million, you got Josh Allen at 43, Dak at 40, Watson at 39, Wilson. I personally would not put Derek Carr over $35 million a year. I believe that would be a major mistake for Las Vegas. Then you got Aaron Rodgers at 33.5. From what it sounds like, he might actually get a 2-year contract extension where he's getting like $45, $46, $47 million a year. And when you win MVP back-to-back, yeah, that makes sense to me. And you got Jared Goff, dud. Kirk Cousins, dud. Carson Wentz, yeah. Then you got Matt Ryan. What I'm really, really worried about is those last 4 quarterbacks that I just read off. I'm worried that the Raiders are going to put themselves in a quarterback purgatory type of state where they have good quarterbacks, but when you pay just good quarterbacks elite types of money, anything over $30 million, your teams struggle because you can't put enough talent around them. So when I hear this report from Rapoport, when I see other people that I trust talk about a Carr contract extension, I do. I think he is likely going to get $30 million a year. So don't be surprised, and don't be surprised if you see something come out like 2 years, $40 million a year. So that's 2 years at $80 million. Plus, okay, plus his 19.9, this guy could literally be looking at a 3-year, $100 million type of contract where he is then making 33.3, somewhere in that range of dollars per season, which I think is a little bit too much. Now, the reason why I gave him $60 million guaranteed is because when you look at a lot of these other quarterback contracts, they are very, very fully guaranteed. And the highest paid quarterbacks in terms of guaranteed dollars, Josh Allen got 150, Mahomes got 141. Now, again, those contracts were a lot longer in terms of overall years. Dak Prescott, he got $126 million, but that was a 5-year contract. Watson at 110, Jared Goff got 110, Carson Wentz got 107, Wilson 107, Matt Ryan was somewhere around 100, Aaron Rodgers at 98, and then Kirk Cousins 96. The contract that I want you guys to study is the Kirk Cousins type of contract extension, because that's the type of deal that I think Derek Carr is going to end up getting. Now, I love DC. He is probably my favorite Raiders player. There's a reason why, he's the only jersey that I own. There's a reason why he's, like the logo, the banner, and all my social media stuff, because I respect Derek Carr as a man. He's literally said that he wants to be a Raider, and those are the type of dudes that I want. But with all that being said, I didn't want the Raiders to extend DC. I would have made him play on that 19.9. That way you could build, the team around him a little bit more, because by giving Carr that extra money, you then obviously take money away from the Raiders in free agency, and right now the Raiders are sitting somewhere around like 31.7 projected cap. That's after the Arnett and Henry Ruggs situation gets settled. They're also going to move on from some other players as well, and they'll have extra money to play with. I just didn't want the Raiders to extend DC because I wasn't 100% sure that Carr was the long-term option. Now, today's show sponsor is Panda Sups, and make sure you guys use code SUPERBOWL. It's going to get you 35% off at pandasups.com. The products that I want you to go out and try are the greens, not the greens you guys usually get, but these greens, they're going to help you keep yourself healthy. And in 2020, if it taught me anything, it literally just taught me to just try to take care of my body a little bit more. Panda Green benefits, it's going to help your joint and brain health, which, I don't know if you guys know, keeping your brain healthy is actually pretty important. Probiotics to get all that junk out of your system. Vitamins and minerals, it's going to give you energy. So instead of having that cup of coffee, I wake up in the morning, I get a glass of water, 1 scoop of the greens, ready to rock and roll. And then it's earth-grown nutrients. So you're not going to look in the back and be like, what the hell are all these crazy, crazy ingredients? On top of the greens, Panda Supps also just released their peach gummy rings, and it's their pandemic. This is a pre-workout that is going to get you so hyped to work out. 2 hours later, you're going to be like, holy crap, I'm still in the gym. And it tastes like those peach gummy rings. You know what I'm talking about in those bags that you had as a kid? It's so good, tastes delicious. I will say, though, it is a very strong pre-workout, so maybe for your first-time users, maybe try half a scoop, maybe even try a quarter of a scoop. Remember, y'all, that link is down in the comments and in the description. Major shout-out to Mayor Bod and everyone over there at Panda Supps for hooking us up with 35% off. Just use code Super Bowl. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about here is Derek Carr and some other things that you can potentially see. And the reason why I bring this up is because I didn't want them to extend DC, and I get it. They made the playoffs. Carr played well, and he also played pretty bad last season. Now, he played well the first 7 games, and that's the part where he had Henry Ruggs, he had Darren Waller, he had a good team, and that I understand, and the Raiders were 5-2. It's all good. 67.6% completion percentage, 2,269 yards, 12 touchdowns, 5 turnovers. If you were to take those numbers for a 17-game pace, it would be 5,510 yards, 29 touchdowns, 12 turnovers. The Raiders make the playoffs. I have absolutely no problem with those numbers extending DC. Sure, I would like the touchdowns to be a little bit more higher, but I'm going to put some blame on Bisaccia, put some blame on Greg Olsen, and hopefully by having new offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels, who had the Patriots as a top 10 red zone offense, Carr gets a little bit better in that category. Now, the last 7 games, this is where, I struggle, because a lot of times players, they get contract extensions on how they finish the year. Again, I get it. His main options were Zay Jones, Deshaun Jackson, Bryan Edwards. Darren Waller was battling a lot of injuries. But to have 7 touchdowns, 10 turnovers, we have to be able to face the facts here. The defense is what carried the Raiders into the playoffs. Not that Carr didn't make some clutch plays at the end of games. He absolutely did. And if anybody out there doesn't have confidence in Carr in the fourth quarter, I personally think you're crazy. But the way he finished the season, I would have liked to see him go a 19.9. But let's not get this also twisted. I am very happy for DC. I'm very happy for a lot of Raider fans out there that want Carr to be the quarterback. If this is the decision, then I am going to stand by it. I am going to support Carr. I'm going to support the brand new staff that the Raiders decided to bring in, because I do believe for Carr to be successful, for the Raiders to be successful, you need to have some support and you need to have some continuity for maybe the very first time in his entire career. He was a second-round pick in 2014, and I don't know if he's ever had a staff and a coaching unit that has worked as a collective unit. For the first time in his career, he is going to have that with Dave Ziegler, with Josh McDaniels, with all these coaches that they just brought in from New England. So, in terms of Derek Carr getting that extension, if Rapoport's reporting it, I believe that that's probably going to happen. The figure that I think he's going to end up getting is somewhere around a 3-year contract extension. Probably going to get like $100 million. I think he's going to get somewhere between 70, 75 million, maybe, that's maybe a little bit high. 65 to 7 million fully guaranteed. And remember, if it does end up happening, we're going to be going live here, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. If anything happens over the next few hours, I will do my best during the Super Bowl to keep you guys up to date on my Instagram. So if you made it this far in this video, what I want you to do is go ahead and give me a follow on IG. Go ahead and give me a follow on Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365, and I will do my best to keep you updated. Hopefully everyone enjoys this big game, Super Bowl. If you made it this far and you want to let me know who you got, let me know for the Rams or the Bengals. I'm going to be rooting for the Bengals today because I'm sorry, I just don't really want to see the team from LA win.